Before we begin, thank you very much to What a Joke 2 for joining the Patreon campaign. Thank you very much. I also owe you a request if you want to forward that along to me, because the highest tier patrons do get a request out of me. I have one more I can get to this week that kind of slipped through the cracks, and then I have two that involve toy reviewing that I currently do not have access to. I'm working on that. I might have to set up like a temporary little home base for reviews because I can't get to and from the toy shop without my car, and frankly, it might be a while before I have my car back, so I have to figure out something else in the meantime. So, few weird changes coming. You'll probably notice when they pop up. Alright, so it's News Roundup Day, and I will be honest, I put off making this video for as long as I could possibly get away with, because there's this part of me just lingering in my brain going, please, something come up. Anything. I always post news round. I always record News Roundup like an hour earlier than I should, and some like huge, enormous, super cool thing comes up, and I have to wait a week to talk about it. That's not the case this week. Or at least I don't think it is, not yet. I tried, because it's been, frankly, a pretty quiet news week. So we're going to go over some weird stuff, just for the sake of it. There also haven't even been any sightings, so I can't even do, like, a sightings report, because pretty much everything's out and known. Alright, so for starters, Takara Tomy did post this image, and this is confirming, yes, Missing Link is a real thing. This is a Transformer line that is on the way. It is being debuted on the 9th. Which over here, I believe would be the 8th, depending on exactly when the time of day that they will actually announce this. Regardless, we might know everything about this line tomorrow, or if it even is a line, or if it's just a one-off. We don't know. We don't know exactly yet. So we might be talking about, I know I already did, like, this is the second news roundup we've talked about this, and we've already done a whole video devoted to this and the possibilities it could bring up, but you know I'm going to talk about it again once the news is official and they tell us all the details, and hopefully give us a little bit of news about if this is going to be the only toy or not. I'm expecting it to be a huge deal. I'm expecting it to be a runaway thing, the same way that the Masterpiece line was a runaway thing when it was just supposed to be an anniversary idea. So I'm looking forward to it. Of course I'm looking forward to it. I've already dedicated so many videos to it. We do have a little bit of a better look at what we will be seeing here in the next day or two, depending on time zones. This is a little bit of a clearer image than what we got before, so we can get a better idea of like where the joints are and what kind of joints they are using to accomplish this bit of engineering marvel. It looks really, really good still. Still no complaining about it. Someone did a quick translation of this one too. Released on March 9, so we might have to wait till next year. So we might have to wait till, wow, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. That would be a long time. That'd be a long wait. Okay. Scheduled for release in late February. That's still a long wait. MSRP for the full vehicle one is 17,380 yen, which is, I think, with exchange rate somewhere below 150 US. And yeah, it basically just goes over, like, you get everything that comes with the original. Yeah, something called Secret Film. No idea what that is. But it's essentially just the same stuff that every G1 Prime comes with. I don't see any, like, surprises outside of Secret Film, whatever that is. And then the cartoon accurate version with its altered paint, brighter colors, etc. It's the CO2. And because these are serial numbered, I really do hope that is an indication. Yeah. And then, yeah, you get leaflet instruction manuals, collector card. Secret Film. Okay, Secret Film collector card. No, that's not. No, that's different things. So, remember, this is a quick machine translation that you can do with just an app on your phone. Like, it translated a K in the logo. Yeah. I'm still looking forward to this. Solution on August 9th. Missed. Cryptic. All right. Here's a bunch of stuff we've already talked. So all the solicit information dropped for Legacy Wave 4, but the fun part about that is it's all of the official images, some of which were not available yet. In case you wanted an official image of that Optimus Prime toy that they've shown off that they've been releasing for years at this point. But yeah, I love the official image drops, not only because it really helps me with thumbnails, but also just because, yeah, like it's a much clearer image of what we're getting. Yeah, and it's just a nice resource to have. Bludgeon looking good in his. The big important ones, I think, here are all the nice images we have of the Stunticons for those who might be eyeballing that gift set or thinking of selling your old set and picking up the new one. Nice big details on those. All right. So that's all fine. It's all well and good. Like, yeah, there's no real shock. There's nothing new here. I think the most surprising thing about all of this is the close-up of Detritus we got, or Detritus. And they've got a gold goatee painted on him, making Hound look evil, or at least as evil as you can get when you're obviously not supposed to be a Decepticon. So nothing really newsworthy outside. Like, if you really want to read what all these blurbs are, they're pretty much exactly the same. They all have 2 epic modes and awesome accessories. I think that's for me and the rest of the community to decide rather than you. Yeah, then the scan thing to reveal tech specs, which I've never actually done. I've gotten so many of these that had the QR on it. Never did it. So yeah, that's, like I said, I'm struggling for news topics this week. So we're just rolling right along. In the realm of slightly upgraded preview images that we'll see more of on the 9th in Japan time. The new 2-pack of Beast Wars again is revealing Dinobot and Tarantulas alongside the new Missing Link Convoy. And it's what we expected. It's an upgraded paint job on the 2 figures from Kingdom and then Legacy, who are already really, really good figures, and now you get them more cartoon accurate. These are still not great photos, though. We do know that Dinobot has a golden disc he comes with, because it was in one of the other preview images. But it's still really hard to tell what is changed and different unless you have it like right on hand. Like, I don't have my Dinobot or my Tarantulas right here. Offhand, I think I just noticed like the front of his feet are painted. I think that might be that's the only difference I can spot offhand. Yeah, I would have to get mine out and compare it, but I'd also need better quality images. For me, with these kind of repaints for Dinobot, it's more about, like, I'm convinced, yeah, you can get the robot mode to look fine. I want to see what the beast mode looks like, because it always seems like the hard thing to get accurate to the show is how Dinobot's beast mode looks. So that's going to be my big concern here. And again, I'm going to have comparison photos ready, because I'm really curious about how close they got it. Because Takara's tried this many times. But it looks okay. It looks like it'll be good. Is there anyone left? Have we gone through the entire gamut already? I don't think Inferno's been there yet. I don't know. I'd have to double check. My brain's cloudy. Oh, I could just check by the number. 06. There's 7 on each side. So, all right, that makes sense. All right. We do have in-hand images now for Dreadwing. He's out of box in Hong Kong, and everyone is showing him off now. It's a repaint of Skyquake. Big shock, I know. I'm not big on the Skyquake mold. It's got some weirdness to it that I'm not really a fan of, so I don't know if I'm actually going to go for Dreadwing. I might just like sell off the Skyquake and just kind of let these go by the wayside. But for those who are after it, you know, they don't look bad. You know, they do not look bad at all. So there's that. Geez, the chest on. Hang on. I can check this, because this like struck me as weird all of a sudden. Where are you, Scott? Where are you? Yeah. What did you do? What did you do? This is what he did. He painted the center silver striping down onto Skyquake, I'm getting them mixed up, onto Dreadwing's chest and put a Decepticon symbol on there. If you are the first one that actually gets these in hand, you don't you added silver to the wrist too. Don't modify it. Like, the worst thing you can do is modify a toy if you're the first one showing it off, because it's an inaccurate depiction now. Oh, it's annoying. That's annoying. But well. But still, it looks fine. Even with the weird random paint. Yes, he's got the compatibility things, so we'll get G2 characters, or we'll get like Euro G1s out of this at some point. Just a matter of time. Let's go on to something completely new. Yeah, so I mentioned the last time we talked about the new JP12, and I told you that I wanted more info about his box companion instead. That's what we got. Dilophoncon, a brand new mold, which harkens back to a few Beast Wars characters you could mention. Iguanus, I think a lot of people mentioned as potentially wanting out of this mold. Yeah, but he is the frill neck dinosaur that spat acid at our villain in Jurassic Park. He's not. It's not the most accurate. In fact, it is very inaccurate. But then again, it's sci-fi dinosaurs, so we can give it a pass. He looks kind of thin as a deluxe in beast mode, or in robot mode, but he does not look bad. He definitely has his own thing going on. I like the look overall. Yeah. He's probably the most exciting thing out of the pack, and he's another one of those original molds that I really hope escapes that, so we can get some like actual Transformer characters out of the design. I'm imagining something like, especially with that tail weapon, I would really like to have like a Cybertron Undermine connected to this. That would be fun as a retool. I would be into that. No, like, there's a lot of things you could do. It's kind of vaguely deluxe Dinobot. So maybe a lot of the Beast Wars paints and retools from Dinobot that we didn't get in the Voyager, maybe we can get as a deluxe. I don't know. I'm shooting into the wind at this point. I'm grasping at straws because I just kind of want this, but I want it as a character I actually know. But it is looking cool. I do like the sculpt. I do like the paint. So, like, this is what makes me excited out of the set more than the Jeep. So keeping an eye on that. Might just cancel and wait for that to go on clearance, because these Jurassic Park sets always end up on clearance, don't they? Kotobukiya showed off the hard proto for their Starscream, which, yes, they're not for me, but I can comment on how good of a job they do and how inspired some of the choices are. Starscream's wings as a guitar case is absolutely inspired. That's perfect. But they answered a few questions too, just a few things here. Would they be interested in doing some non-G1 characters in the future? So they want to do Soundwave and Shockwave, or air quote, also known as Laser Wave to English fans. No, we know him as Shockwave. They should know him as Laser Wave. They've also expressed interest in Blackout and Barricade. I would not be a fan of either. I think the novelty here is going with the G1 stuff because it's turning this blocky design into a very round, feminine form. I think that's where you get more creative with what has to go where. Also, like, I don't know. I don't want to see anime girl figurines of Bay versus Decepticons. I want to get here. How long does it take? It takes about a year. It takes a year to make one of these a reality. And sometimes it's, the design ideas flow very naturally. It's a little bit quicker. Sometimes they kind of struggle on design elements, so it becomes longer, etc. Typical stuff. Process at Hasbro's been working good. They did the My Little Pony Bishojo Series 2, which was a really big hit for them, so good on that. Was the most intensive to design and work with artists, details, face, outfits. Okay, so, and they basically just say, like, finding ways of making this look like the character and still be an anime girl. Like, if you, like, squint really hard, you can still kind of see the silhouette and you can still see the shapes in the right spots. Basically that. Basically that's the challenge. And it continued in the last question, which is getting the head is the hardest part. Turning a helmet into an anime girl with hair. And sometimes they can do it by tone, like Megatron. He's got to be more militaristic. Or they have to do things, with like Starscream, where the intakes on his helmet become the braids in her hair, which I still think is really clever. So it's a lot of that. It's a lot of back and forth on, it's a surprisingly big challenge to turn a blocky 80s robot into a cute anime girl. So again, commend them for what they do. So Renegade Game Studios revealed that Transformers is getting a Robo Rally game. So it's a racing board game, and they are doing a Transformer and a G.I. Joe version for it. And that's all cool. That's cool. I mean, unfortunately, I've never played it myself. Okay, so it's Transformers for Robot Rally. G.I. Joe gets Axis and Allies. That actually makes sense. So, excuse me for not reading this thoroughly last time. It's ironic that, like, it's weird because, like, in Robot Rally, you got 6 different Transformer robots that you can play as. They'll be able to convert from bot and alt mode and back, etc., to navigate the board. Meanwhile, for Axis and Allies, apparently G.I. Joe is getting, like, over 100 different figures. 110 figures, 6. It's not fair, man. It's not fair. But no, it's coming to Robo Rally. So you can play as Transformers in many different ways now. And another one is coming, if you're in Japan anyway. The game we knew as Duel Masters is actually going to do a Transformers expansion. Good to note that Duel Masters is still really popular in Japan. And I don't think Magic the Gathering has nearly as much of a foothold in Japan. There are Japanese releases of the cards, but it's not what it is here in America. So I can imagine that, Duel Masters is probably the better choice rather than bringing over the Transformer cards they did for Magic the Gathering. The artwork for these is a little bit fun. So you've got Optimus Prime, who looks like he's caught in a windstorm and his left wrist seems to be broken. You have Optimus Primal as an earthbender. And Lavos is about to drop behind him right on top of his head. He should probably do something about that. Let's see. Bumblebee, aside from just looking super intense, looks like Spike is about to clock him in the back of the head and betray the Autobots. Also, I can't help but notice that Bumblebee's laser beam is going crooked. So I think his gun is damaged at this point. Scourge, I have no idea why he's in water, but it actually looks super cool. It's probably the coolest Scourge has ever looked. And then Cheetor, who just got blasted out of the mountains, and he is flying off like Team Rocket. And then RC, who, admittedly, like, it's a very busy background, but it does look cool. But what's surprising here is that they're actually going with their Titans Return design, which again is my favorite of the RC designs for toys because it doesn't have a giant backpack and shell on it. So I'm glad they acknowledge best RC figure. So yeah, it's interesting. You will notice if you look at just the names, it's all Rise of the Beast based. Even though Scourge is not a lead villain in G1, but they are really trying to make it out like he is, especially with this shot. It's just amusing to me how they're marketing this. If Duel Masters isn't your thing, how about Metabots, or Metarot in Japan? So the mobile game for Metarot is actually doing a Transformers crossover as well, where, yes, Transformers are actually turned into Metabots. I will be using American terminology for the rest of this because that is what I am familiar with. And they do work like, okay, Primal's in there as well, and then Megatron rounds it out. It is just like, it is just like you would expect. They can, like, have their parts, like, swapped with other Metabots, so you can, like, use Transformer parts to custom build your own bots and all that. And yeah, they do transform as part of their, like, big attacks that they can perform in the game. And then they did this. So these are the meta fighters, at least some of them, who are also beginning alternate costumes based on Transformers. The one in the center just kind of looks like Bishojo Prime. And then, yeah, so the one that weirded me out, so like Megatron's cool, Black Arachnia just basically just looks like Black Arachnia, really. The one that weirded me out is Terrorsaur. Of all characters to waifu eyes, you picked Terrorsaur. You picked Terrorsaur. Why? Why? And then you have, but the one that everyone on internet freaked out about is the Bumblebee costume, which apparently has Bumblebee masquerading as a Geodude. I assume that's supposed to be her pigtails in robot form. That's what they're going. It's weird. It's super weird. Oh, but it's interesting to talk about though. So at least it's fun. So again, you got to be in Japan for all this stuff. So at the very least, Japanese fans eating well on crossovers. But over here we have our own stuff, like stickers. There are stickers. And there's two different types. There's Rise of the Beast. There's a sticker album for Rise of the Beast. And there's also a sticker album for Authentics. So you either get your G1 aesthetic or you get your movie aesthetic. Either way, it's a sticker collection. I don't know if this is available in the U.S. because that's definitely not how English format packaging is. That's not English on the box. So we'll see. We'll see. You never know with this kind of stuff. And that's going to wrap it up. So somehow, even with a slow news week, I've managed to extend this out past 20 minutes. Yay me. But thank you guys for watching through a slow news week. I didn't sleep well. Thank you for joining me for a slow news week as we just go through some really weird topics for Transformers. I hope someone out there enjoyed, and I will see you next time.
I'm like, I think you guys got this. I will back away, and I will see you all later.
You've got this handled.
Alafi's like, really? You're not gonna help me? Like, it's fine now.
It's like these disgusting creatures breathing down my neck, and you're all just like, I believe in you. You got this.
All right, you seem to have this. 5 minutes.